Good evening. Welcome to the second episode in this 5-part series celebrating New Jersey Ballet's Nutcracker. I'm Kristen Leachow, and I will be your host tonight. When I was 6 years old, my mother took me to Paperwell Playhouse to see New Jersey Ballet's Nutcracker. After the show, I decided that I wanted to perform on stage, and the following school year, I was enrolled in classes at the New Jersey School of Ballet. 2 years later, I made my debut on that same stage as a little clown on opening night. Over the years, I went on to perform as a soldier, a little girl in the party scene, an angel, a courtier, a snowflake, a flower, in the Chinese tea dance, and finally as Clara. Since then, I've returned to New Jersey Ballet every Christmas to help the child performers backstage, only missing one season when I spent my fall semester working in Walt Disney World. It's a rewarding and full-circle experience working backstage with the students whose shoes and costumes I wore not too long ago myself. This week, we're going to look at things from a different angle, taking you on a private tour behind the scenes at Nutcracker. We already know what happens when the curtain rises and the lights come up, brightening the eager faces of our dancers. There's an electric charge that passes from the stage to the audience and back. An awakening takes place, making each one of us feel more alive. But before the party scene children make their entrance, peeking through the keyhole to take a look at the Christmas tree, before the porcelain doll comes out of her box and first stomps on the wooden Nutcracker, before anyone moves a finger on stage, a lot of people have been working very busy off stage, where no one can see them. These people include our wonderful repertory coaches who spend weeks patiently teaching everyone the steps to the wardrobe mistress, who repairs and cleans the ballet's costumes for the production. The backstage crew naturally includes the stagehands and the technicians who install the scenery and arrange the lights. Stage managers make sure props and furniture are in the right place when we need them. Without these devoted individuals, Nutcracker wouldn't be possible. So we're grateful to them for their expertise and for their effort. And while we're thanking people, let's not forget the parents who drive their kids to all of the rehearsals and performances, and the people who guide the children backstage and cue them whenever it's time to go on. And of course, we're grateful to our volunteers. A dedicated team of people come together every year to make sure that Nutcracker looks bright, shiny, and just as beautiful as can be. These folks working backstage never get to take a bow, but they're happy to contribute to the production because they love Nutcracker just as much as we do. And when Drosselmeyer surprises a little boy by pulling a candy out of his ear, or draws a colored scarf out of nowhere, those backstage workers smile a knowing smile because they're in on the real secrets of the production. In just a moment, we'll introduce you to some of these wonderful people. But first, here's a clip from NJTV that explains how the annual revenue from Nutcracker helps New Jersey Ballet on its mission to present new work and to perform throughout the year.
Tchaikovsky and point shoes. The Nutcracker is a holiday tradition for many, including the ballet companies that perform it. The reliably popular tale of a girl and her Christmas toy means income companies can count on and an influx of new audiences. Paul McRae is assistant director of New Jersey Ballet.
Because that part of our season is fully funded, it does allow us to stretch our dollars. It allows you a little more freedom in building the rest of the season.
That can mean taking a risk and trying something new, or simply producing a lesser-known ballet that fits the mission but lacks the name recognition. Beyond ticket sales and the ability to reuse costumes and sets, there's another piece of the Nutcracker puzzle that adds to its sustainability: kids.
For kids, Nutcracker can offer an entryway into the art form, whether that's off stage or on.
Many ballet companies have affiliated dance schools. That means students can fill roles, party guests, mice, etc. The Nutcracker can have a full cast, and companies only need to pay the professional dancers. Students get a key component of their training as well: performance experience. This season, 7 performers get to dance the lead role of Clara. Allison Ivan is one of them.
You're working with professional dancers. How does that feel?
Oh, it's amazing. Because especially since you aspire to be a professional dancer, you learn from them.
And the biggest lesson she'll take with her when she goes off to college next year to continue studying dance?
When you mess up, never let it show. Always keep it performance quality.
It's performances like hers, after all, that keep families coming back year after year and get Nutcracker first-timers excited about the ballet.
It was graceful. I really liked how they stayed on point for so long.
Did this make you want to see more ballet?
I did a lot. It was a lot of fun.
And though Nutcracker may be over 120 years old, holiday fun is timeless. In Morristown, I'm Maddie Orton for NJTV News.
Audiences who watch the Nutcracker take a lot for granted, which is as it should be. When everything goes well and there are no interruptions, we can forget about our ordinary lives and lose ourselves in the story. No matter how many times we see Nutcracker, this marvelous tale never loses its emotional appeal. Tchaikovsky's music unfurls sonorously, leading us from the cozy interior of this party scene to a silvery forest in the winter, and then heavenward to the kingdom of sweets. The dancers' graceful movements match the music with their drama. At key moments, the scenery moves too, and its changes are carefully timed. The Christmas tree grows before our eyes, and when the little Nutcracker doll is whisked away, a live Nutcracker on a traveling bed rolls in to take his place. A toy cannon pops, snow falls, drifting clouds make a carpet for our angels, and wisps roll over the edge of the stage. At the end of the ballet, a gondola carries Clara and the Nutcracker prince through the air, waving farewell to their friends in the kingdom of sweets. Kevin O'Brien is the chief rigger for New Jersey Ballet's production at the Mayo Performing Arts Center, and it's his job to make sure that particular scenic effects go smoothly. Before it can snow on stage, nearly 100 gallons of the white snow is packed into snow cannons and must be securely installed in the fly space overhead, night after night. So, how do they do it?
Hello, I'm Kevin O'Brien, and for nearly 10 years I've been employed as the flyman on a New Jersey Ballet's production of the Nutcracker at the Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown, New Jersey. There is something so exciting about hearing our stage manager's cue to dim the house lights, followed by the cheering from the children in the audience as they anticipate the adventure to come. To me, the Nutcracker is about children, their dreams, their magical Christmas dreams. I'll miss that this year due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. On a different note, the unfortunate curtailment of the New Jersey Ballet's Nutcracker this year will cause economic hardship for our IATSE union stagehands. In this, the Yuletide season, I implore everyone to take care of your health and take care of one another, in order that we'll be able to bring the magic of the New Jersey Ballet's Nutcracker back to the Mayo Performing Arts Center in time for the 2021 holiday season.
Another aspect of Nutcracker that audiences enjoy without giving it too much thought is the ballet's fanciful costuming. Even when the ballet was new, more than 100 years ago, Nutcracker offered an escape into the past. Suffused with nostalgia, the ballet recalls the innocent games, the social dances, the gallantry and charms of an earlier time. The costume designer has researched the period in which Nutcracker is set, so the children and the guests who appear in the party scene wear correct historical clothing, frock coats and cravats for the gentlemen, and long gowns with ribbons and flounces for the ladies. But that's just the beginning. Dressing and outfitting all the characters who appear in Clara's dream gives the costume designers an almost limitless field in which to exercise their imaginations. Designing costumes for everyone from mice to merlitons and from snowflakes to Spanish chocolate, these artists employ a dazzling palette of colors and a range of fabrics, from humble chenille to exquisite silks. Of course, these costumes must also be practical. They are tailored and cut just so to allow the dancers a full range of movement. Despite all their furbelows, they can't be too heavy, and they must be durable, for these gorgeous costumes take a beating. Caring for these special garments is an art in itself. Here is New Jersey Ballet's wardrobe mistress, Melanie Schwartz, to tell us about it.
So this is my third year working with the New Jersey Ballet. This would have been our third Nutcracker that I would have toured with. We tour all around New Jersey to various theaters, getting to meet all kinds of different people. I've had such a beautiful experience working with all of our dancers, both company members and students. They're all so lovely and welcoming me into the New Jersey Ballet family. We have such a great spirit time during Christmas. It's always the best part of the year. We tour all different theaters, and then when we arrive at Mayo, it feels like we're coming home. So this year, it was going to be our 50th anniversary Nutcracker at Mayo Performing Arts. However, we are transitioning into a virtual Nutcracker this year, and we have a brand new set of snow costumes that will soon be revealed. It's very exciting. The old costumes were treasured, and from years and years past, so many dancers passed through them. It's such a wonderful thing to be able to now have a new set of costumes that we get to put new memories into and have new dancers in each year coming for the many years to come. We have new snow core tutus for the junior company. We also have new tutus for our principal dancers for the Snow Queen, and also our soloist snow dancers. Still to be put together, still to be adorned with all the sparkle that the snow scene evokes in everyone when you see it for the first time each year. And we're so excited to be back on stage performing for a live audience, for all of you guys, our friends and our family who support us here at the New Jersey Ballet.
I'm the production manager with New Jersey Ballet Company. My name is Brian Coakley, and I've been with the company since 2002. This would have been my 19th Nutcracker. Traveling with the company, every November or December when we're putting on the Nutcracker, it's really more like seeing your family that you haven't seen all year. And I mean the dancers, the crew, the different theaters. It's one big family, honestly. It's a very large undertaking to make the Nutcracker ready for our audience. I want to tell you about one of the guys that's not seen. The guy who controls our bed on stage is one of our dedicated crew members. While Clara and the Prince are on stage dancing, he controls the bed underneath it doing his own dance moves. It really takes a large, dedicated crew to make the magic happen. I want to tell you about another magical moment in the Nutcracker. At the end of Act 1, it snows on stage. And while you see a lot of choreography that goes into the dancing, there's a lot of choreography that goes into the backstage work. Between flying the swan boat, changing backdrops, bringing in the curtain, and that magical cue where the snow starts. We have a whole crew ready backstage to clean up that snow and change over for Act 2.
As Nutcracker travels from theater to theater, making stops all over the state of New Jersey, the truck that carries all the scenery and props is loaded and unloaded multiple times. Out comes painted backdrops and rolling hampers and garment racks crowded with costumes, ballet bars, machines, and crates that need to be unpacked. Each theater has a different setup, and all this material must fit the space, and find the spot where it will be the most helpful. Then, as soon as the show is over, back it goes into the truck. Don't leave anything behind. Tommy Brennan, the master carpenter of the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, knows how it's done. He's been supervising the load-in of Nutcracker for more than 40 years now, and he hasn't lost his voice yet.
Head carpenter at Paper Mill Playhouse. I've been there, close to going on 45 years. And I have done Nutcracker almost every year since 1977. I've set up every year, set up the productions, run the shows, and we've had, there were a couple rough years. One year when Paper Mill burnt down, the set burnt, so they had to get a new set, and we did that at Symphony Hall. And I've been acquainted with Carolyn Clark, Joe Carreau, George Stamal, all those people, Paul, many, many good people over the years. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of success with the show. I enjoy it. It's a holiday tradition as it is for everybody, as it is for me. We used to do it at Paper Mill. Now they do it in Morristown, and I go set up that every year. So it's I miss a lot of the old people. I don't see them, and some I keep in contact with, but we've always had a good time, a good relationship with New Jersey Ballet. We've had many different situations. We had one year, one of the guys that was running the show kind of built a big mousetrap. We took a picture of the mousetrap with a bunch of the dancers. This was years and years ago. And working with Mr. George and Tamal and Joe Carreau, we're just, I mean, these guys were loved doing the show and helped make everybody work together. I mean, it was a lot of great years that have been gone by. We'd love to do them again. This pandemic has brought a lot of changes to a lot of things. One, the theater industry is really down in the dumps, nothing doing. And then not doing Nutcracker for the holiday part of the year is kind of sad. And hopefully by the time this time next year we'll all be back into it and very happy again and continue on the tradition.
We heard a lot tonight about the magic of the Nutcracker, and nowhere in this magic is more apparent than in the celebrated transformation scene and the battle that follows. On the stroke of midnight, the old grandfather clock fills up with a mysterious light, and the wall of the drawing room grows transparent. Drosselmeyer appears, floating in a cloud in his silken cape, flapping madly in the wind. Then the Christmas tree climbs to a monstrous height, while Clara appears to shrink in a dizzying proportion. The once familiar drawing room vanishes, and the small battalation of toy soldiers, now life-size, prepare to repel a horde of greedy mice. Now, let's meet our technical expert, lighting designer Paul Miller, who will talk to us about these scenes.
Hi, I'm Paul Miller. 20 years ago when we created new lighting for this production, there was a lot that I had to learn about the existing production. Costumes, scenery, staging, choreography, the way the story was being told, all of that information informed choices that we made in the new design. Every year since then, for a week in December, I've gotten to rejoin this production. We reassemble the lighting rig from scratch, and we have time, even before the company arrives in the theater, to take a look at every single light cue in the show. Sometimes we have a new idea. Sometimes there's an old idea that we can improve upon. Sometimes there's a new light fixture available to us that allows us to do something in a way that we couldn't do it before. It's really a privilege to be able to have this kind of ongoing relationship with a company and a production. So, Carolyn, Paul, Brian, I'm so grateful to you guys. I miss you so much. I can't wait to see you next year. Thanks.
Among the highlights of the first act party scene are two solos for mechanical dolls. Drosselmeyer brings these wind-up toys to entertain the guests, and their antics provide a contrast to the simple social dances of the partygoers. While the guests behave like ordinary people, the dolls perform like ballet virtuos. The joke is that these particular virtuosi are so stiff and their expressions remain frozen. Nonetheless, the roles of the soldier doll and the porcelain doll are very desirable. Dancing these parts, ambitious young company members have a chance to prove their technical abilities as they begin their descent through the ranks. You can't dance as a dewdrop or the sugar plum fairy without first mastering the role of porcelain doll. Tonight's program has come to an end, but before we close, I'd like to leave you with some food for thought. We all know that Nutcracker is just a story. Everything we see on stage is the work of clever artists who have learned how to create excitement with strobe lights, flash powder, and gauze scrim. We've just seen how they do it. And yet, Nutcracker has a message for us. Some may scoff at a make-believe battle between mice and toy soldiers. That's just kid stuff. Yet the eternal struggle between good and evil is real. Goodness triumphs in the Nutcracker, but the Nutcracker general can't win this victory by himself. Neither can the toy soldiers with their little bayonets. No, it's a sweet combination of love and courage that turns the tide. At the crucial moment, our heroine Clara overcomes her fear and throws her slipper at the Mouse King, giving the Nutcracker his chance to win. Love in its purest form, love as it exists, in the heart of an innocent child. That's what saves the day. We return to Nutcracker time and time again to be reminded of these truths, and to remember that this power lies within all of us. Thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to see you again next week for another Nutcracker Wednesday, when we'll take a closer look at the role of Clara.